So this video, we're into the meat of modifications for this road and track car. So BMWs, they have a rear subframe that holds a diff and it's got bushes in it, and it's a bit of a floppy old thing compared to some cars. So an obvious area for improvement on anybody that tracks their BMW is sorting out the rear. Sometimes the bushes can be worn, and of course we want to put a slippy diff in. So a nice opportunity to have the rear subframe off the car, refresh it with some nicer bushes. The arms and things can add some adjustability and reduce the level of slop, technical word, in the car at the rear, and help it to just feel more connected, responsive, predictable on the racetrack. So, serendipitously, good word that, some car mates of mine, Scooby and Frankie, not their real names, are building a fantastic Z4 coupe track car, and they've got this car all nicely built up with the N52 engine, so it's another 3-litre SI, very high spec build. And unfortunately, one of the first times out, the engine went pop. Bad times. However, they're men that shoot for the stars and men of means, so they've dropped in an S54 and they've done the engine, the box, the diff, a whole load of stuff from the Z4M into their car. So they're building a really high spec car. I'm sure I'll put in some little pictures here. And if you are interested in seeing more, I'm sure they'll be amenable to letting me have a poke around and perhaps a ride in it so I could share with you. They're really, really nice build. But it did mean that this lovely refurbished subframe that they'd fitted on their car, that had done maybe 1 or 2 track days, complete with lovely Powerflex bushes, was available for sale. And I paid a pretty penny for it, but it saved me an awful lot of work, and it meant that I had another subframe spare that I could just swap into my car, save taking it off the road, having it raised for a period of time and not on its wheels. So I got very fortunate there. They were kind to me. They gave it to me they gave me first dibs, and they gave it to me at a very good price. So I'm delighted that it's also got the Powerflex bushes, because got a great working relationship with Powerflex. They help out with information. They help a bit on the price of things as well. So it's exactly what I would have fitted to this car anyway. So we've got the subframe with all Powerflex purple or road biased bushes, and then we've got the diff complete with the same bushes, or the diff carrier complete with the same bushes, and then to add to that, I have fitted a set of Powerflex purple upper bushes, or upper inner bushes, and also an adjustable Powerflex rear lower adjustable camber arm, which is the rear lower one at the back, which enables the adjustment of the camber there. So we've decreased the level of slop at the rear through making those changes, and I've also fitted new Lemforder bearing bushes as fitted to the Z4M, to both the upper and the lower outer bush, replacing the One of them's a rubber bush in the non-M car, so both of those are now the M bearing bush. So hopefully we've reduced a good deal of slop at the back. I didn't go for the Black Series track bias Powerflex bushes and didn't want to, because I didn't want to make it introduce too much NVH, and happily I haven't done. So there's actually no noticeable vibration or harshness increase on the road. You don't notice bumps anymore. The ride quality hasn't reduced, although I would say at low speed there is a little bit more diff whine. So that's the only thing that I've noticed about this. At speed, not a problem at all, but just when you're doing maybe up to 20 miles an hour in first gear or in reverse, no, probably just in first gear, there's a little bit of diff whine there that wasn't discernible before we did the change in the subframe and all the bushes at the back. So very, very little negatives. On the positive side, everything is just a little bit tighter at the back. You sort of, everything feels better located. You sort of feel like you feel the rear of the car more. You feel like it's with you in your hips and in your bum. You feel like you're wearing the car a bit more, whereas before you felt a bit disconnected. It's not night and day. These are not solid bushes. They don't directly connect everything to the car and lock it in. That's great for a track car or a race car that doesn't do the road miles and doesn't need to be comfortable, but I didn't want to go down that track with this car at this point, and so we needed a good compromise, and I didn't want to sacrifice things. So these Powerflex buses, all in the rear of the car, have done just that. In addition to that, Powerflex make a really, really nice lollipop bush for the front of the car. So this is a bush that controls the caster angle at the front of the car. And I'm a fan of caster, a big fan of caster. So we've gone for their offset lollipop bush, which is a really, really nice billet aluminium offset bush with a little polyurethane bush within the billet alloy piece, which just moves everything a little bit towards giving the car more caster at the front, which is something I'm really keen to do. A bit more camber on steering lock, and better self-centering. What it's also done, which I didn't expect, I expected it to increase the steering effort, but I feel like it's actually slightly decreased steering effort. I don't like heavy steering. I like light steering so that I can have light hands on the wheel. So that way I feel like I'm much more able to feel what the car's doing, let the car do what it wants to. You can still control the car well, but you know, you've got light enough hands so that you can feel properly what the car's trying to do. So on more modern cars where you can adjust the heaviness of steering, I'm always on the lightest setting regardless of how I've got the rest of the car set up. And so that was quite a pleasant change. And one thing that I think, for me, the steering on this car's is just a little bit heavy despite being electronic power steering. So that was a nice little improvement there that I didn't expect. And nice just to provide a way of adding a little bit more camber in the turns at the racetrack without the adjustable camber plates. So really nice pieces, these offset bushes. They're really well made, and we were able to fit them just with a vice. Actually, we didn't require anything more than that. They are quite stiff, but they come with a nice little alignment marking, so it's probably impossible to get it wrong, but it was perfectly DIYable with just a sensibly sized vice. And you know, they probably reduce slop at the front a little bit of the car, and more importantly, add caster to the car. After the latest track outing and the dynamic toe at the rear that I didn't really want, I've also ordered a set of Powerflex black this time rear trailing arm bushes, because I really wanted to do my best to eliminate that movement, and I thought I could just compromise a little bit in this case and go for the black. Hopefully not introduce too much MVH or any MVH. We will see. I will report back honestly, but we will find out. So I've also got the Powerflex black rear trailing arm bush ready to go out. Hopefully solve those issues there. If the car was more track biased, I would go for uniball bearing mounts, or solid mounts at the rear of the car, but it's not. You know, I want to drive this to the tracks, and it is used, or has been until fairly recently, been used in all different weather conditions. So you don't want a load of road grime in your uniball bearings or in your posh solid mounts. So, you know, really good best of both worlds solution from Powerflex with the polyurethane bushes, and parts I've used before from Powerflex. So you know, it's not sponsorship, it's not paid promotion. They do give us a little bit of modest discount, which is very helpful, but we use their parts by choice. So good quality parts, fairly simple installation, or as simple as bushes often can be, and you know, some thought has always gone into the design. Things like the cross hatching to retain the grease and things like that on the inside of the bushes is always welcome to see. You can see they've been thought out, and they always provide you with plenty of grease as well, which is excellent for bushes. So we shall wait and see. How does the car feel with all these improvements? I'm going to do quite a number of improvements at the same time this time, and let's find out how it all comes together when we get back on the track. Probably May time, I would imagine. So until then, we'll catch you on the next one.